guys, welcome to Karin's Orchids channel. I'm quite pleased with the setup. I rearranged stuff, moved plants around, got rid of a couple of plants, bought a couple of new plants. Some are in spike. It always takes too long for them to open the spikes. Yes. As this white Vanda has been trying to open up this cluster of blooms for several days now. I think one of them is starting to reach its full potential size-wise. So it really takes a long time. It's not so warm in here, usually around 20 during winter time. I don't want to keep it lower since the power bills will reach an astronomical level if I'm not careful, especially as I wanted to keep around 30 degrees Celsius in my new discus aquarium. And I can already see the effect it's got on my power consumption bills. So yeah, I think 19 instead of 15 is more accurate for this winter period. Yeah. The blooms last longer and the spikes are developing a little bit more slowly than normally. So, what is this video going to be about? How I supposed to order my plants, but I'm not. Really. Have you ever heard about someone doing something that is not doing? Try to solve that equation. This is the naked truth of what I actually do. There are things I should do, considering the watering regime. When it comes to orchids, I say that you should do something, but still I'm not doing it myself, so I'm keeping it really simple. Yes. If I want to have 300 plus orchids in my growing area, I'm quite busy doing other things. So it needs to be efficient, needs to be fast, needs to work to suit my schedule. Yes? Look at the beautiful, whoa, today, yay. This lovely love potion, or cherry blossom, some say. That its real name is, but well, it's a trade name, cherry blossom. Open up today. It's first bud. That's nice. Phalaenopsis minimark. I don't remember that my old one had this yellow linings to the, let's see now, petals. That's new. And a very, very welcome detail, I'd say. That's beautiful. Look at this one. Phalaenopsis equestris times speciosa. And another one. Phalaenopsis ambuensis species. And this very long spiked, beautiful pattern. Yeah, the one with the beautiful pattern to its leaves. Schilleriana. It's a beautiful one. It can create very, very long spikes, so I'm not surprised. Yeah. Look, Sogo Vivian Sogo. That spike looks great. There's going to be a lot of flowers. It's even branching out. Looks promising. And my tolumnias, of course. Yeah. It's a new setup. In plastic pots. Look at massive root growth. It looks fine to me. And I spray them with a pesticide, which I didn't think they would cope being treated with, but they were, obviously. So maybe, before long, we are going to expect some blooms. It really looks strong and beautiful. Nothing fancy. Sitting in a bark mixed up with a lot of perlite. And the new setup. I think they're doing quite great. New roots coming. Yes. Pour water. Always fertilize my tolumnias a little bit. And now we're going to sit here and soak for probably 1 hour. And as I kept the basket, the original basket for all of them, I'm not worried that they are going to be soaked until they rot down there to the base. As there's still air, and they're going to dry up very quickly next to the base. That's where the rotting process normally occurs. At least that's one of the reasons why I kept the basket. The other reason is that I didn't want to disturb the roots clinging on so firmly to the baskets, the sides of the baskets. So, And as for the cymbidium, I must say that I'm not an expert in growing cymbidium orchids. It's not really my field yet, but it's the ice cascade. A first new spike. I got this orchid in May this year, yeah, in bloom of course. Loads of pendant, beautiful white flowers. A little touch of I think the cerulean, or was the pink? Yeah. Well, let's bring her down. Look, there might be a couple of more spikes if we're lucky. Certainly that one is another spike. I was uncertain about this one until most recently. This one looked like the one hiding there, so I'm not watering this cymbidium a lot for the moment. Since I brought her inside from my balcony in late October, I've only been giving her a little bit water, maybe twice on the tray. So I didn't want her to end up like the other one did, when I actually did have a promising spike on. I think I better bring her down for you guys. Where's the spot? It had a little something, or not a little something, it's quite a huge something here. I think it was here, yeah, somewhere. But it looked like a good spike, but it rotted. I think it's due to too much watering. I should have kept her on the dry side. Because I'm not so sure if it's a flower spike or if it's a new growth. Either way, it's alright. So, it's not a good looking plant anymore, but she's gonna survive if I do not give her too much water. So I did lose one potential flower spike. Here we have a few Phragmipedium orchids on the front row under LED lights. This is aquarium lights, a spare one. I ended up not needing it as my new aquarium had integrated LED lights, so I didn't know that. But at the time, so I had this one, the spare one, red and blue and white, but a lot of blue. So maybe it's not so beneficial, but we shall see. We shall see. And up there, this little Eldorado, which I showed you in a previous video recently. Blue happiness, here's the cabinet I love. A little bit more cooler cabinet, as it sits in this area, which is way cooler. Here we have my smaller Paphiopedilums. Most part of them sitting here are paths and stuff. And a little Phalaenopsis Trilliana number 2. And Paphiopedilums and large paths and stuff. And a great amount of Dendrobiums. a bit cooler growers. I get to sit here in this area. This huge frag. Vusnus super grandi. And this lovely Rosy Dawn hybrid. It can be. I don't know if this one will be, but might be. Blooming sequentially this time. Either she will give you a larger flower, a single flower, or blooms, sequentially. Now, what I tell you last time about this orchid, that she never ever produces good fan without creating anything in it. So look. So now we know what my area looks like. Let's start by revealing a bit on how I water them. Here I have my Phragmipediums. Let's just start briefly with this Phragmipedium. I think this one is the almost the most expensive plant I've got in my collection for now. Phragmipedium Acus Beauty. It's in sheer beauty. Sending in a very water-retentive medium. Perlite, small grade bark, and a little bit of shredded moss, and loads of calcium in the shape and form of seashells, crushed seashells, to maintain and establish a little bit less acidic environment in there. As they are quite accessible, I can just grab a plant and flush it under my faucet directly with tap water and all. They love alkaline soil, yes. So the more you flush, the better. Since they also do love to be fertilized. So that equation wouldn't end up well if it wasn't for all of the flushings. I flush them 8 times out of 10. Yeah. And then suddenly I add on a little reservoir with some good amount of nutrients. Normally a little bit of CalMag or the rain mix. And let it stay there until the reservoir is dry again. Depending on how hard it is outside, if it's summertime, they would surely need a little reservoir down there, a little pool with some nutrients. But for now, when it's cooler, I would like them to dry out a little bit in between the waterings. But as I noticed that many of them are in growing stage for the moment, they need a lot of water. So, yeah, you need to look at the plant to see what it's doing before you decide what to do. Oh, they are frags. They need to be watered and fertilized severely all year round. No, look at the plant and look at what it's doing. Look at the temperatures. So, now I'm giving him a little bit more fertilizer and a little bit more water. Look, yet another new growth there to this beautiful Acus Beauty. This little tiny plant was in bloom last spring, as you can see. It's all spike. So I'm really expecting something coming out from that one, at least. As that growth is almost the size of that one. We shall see. But that's how I treat all of them. In the very same way as sitting in the very same type of medium. All of my frags. Yes? Except for that one, the large one, which I need to dip water several times a week as sitting in a clay pot. Small grade bark and perlite. And loads of moss. And it doesn't stay soggy for any length of time. You really need to dip water it. I just gambled with this orchid. As much water as possible. It's a very huge plant. So that's what I do with my frags. Yeah, I've got other stuff here. Some of them are winter resting. As for this Dendrobium, Gadon Sunray, it stopped growing. Its terminal leaf stopped growing. So it only needs a little teeny weeny bit of water every other week. And that's what I do. This one, on the other hand, one would have thought would be in dormant, really, no, in its resting period. The Dendrobium nobile, yes, the species. But it's not. It's starting to get there. This growth is just as great as last year's. So, but she's still in growing stage. Green root tips last time I looked, so. But I think now, when this growth has reached the size of last year's growth, I'm going to reduce water and fertilizer severely now until spring comes. And up here we have Cattleyas. Are they an active growth or not? Look at that bent one. Yeah, it's an active growth. You can see root tips. Now I need to dip water it. That only happens every 10 days for the time being. And still a bit of fertilizer as it's producing its new canes, like Cattleya, and it's in active growth. The same goes for this Cattleya, in full bloom, needs a little bit more water, a little bit more fertilizer to maintain these beautiful flowers. They are really taking a lot of energy from that orchid. And that one, yeah, I would like to see something developing in that sheath for my RLC Golf Green Hair Pig. Or Cattleya Golf Green Hair Pig. In order to get it where I want it, I added some more lights, yes, sitting in semi-hydro. So all I can do is fertilize it and see to that the reservoir do not run dry. My favorite Amaryllis is out now. Buds from my latest video. Anyways, I spotted something yesterday behind that Cattleya. Let's bring her out so we can take a little closer look at her. Here's the Cattleya Cappy. Primary hybrid cross between Cattleya trineae, semi-alba, and Cattleya schroederi, also semi-alba form. So that makes this orchid a primary hybrid cross, which means this one can occur in nature. But look, do you see what I see? Finally, filling up with something. So there's one sheath with a black little bud down there. A second sheath, also with stuff in there. And a third sheath with stuff in there. Least developer, at least it's the newest one. So it works the same way as my Cattleya mossii, which means that it can bloom from previous years' grown canes, and with sheath, of course, as well as this year's canes. But I've been keeping her, just like the other one, the Eldorado, a little bit more on the dry side lately. Since it's winter and all, the temperature has naturally decreased in this window. So maybe the drop gave her what she was lacking out on to start to create buds. So we're going to see her in bloom in about one month's time. And I might add that I've had her for about 2.5 years, and she's been blooming size all along. I was growing quite tired of her. She's was doing nothing at all. Wasn't performing. She only took up space. So my paths, on the other hand, let us take a look at one of the larger paths. What to say about this one? Yeah, there's a little pool down there. Well, the roots looks alright, but I bet tomorrow there will need to be watering time for this Paphiopedilum. This one can grow really huge. I've seen. So, I don't take that one and check each and every one of them. Oh, this one needs water. Oh, but that one doesn't. Oh, this one, yeah, a little bit. No, I water them all simultaneously. They can take a lot of water. It's the Paphiopedilum. It's sitting in something called green mix. Yes. It was a Danish nursery. The Orchid got it in Denmark, which came up with this special blend, especially designed for orchid growing. This green mix, it's a mix of perlite and rockwool. This is a little bit damp, but not enough. This one needs to be damp at all times, otherwise the medium will have the entirely opposite effect. If we dry out the roots, the medium will seek for water from somewhere. And what wouldn't come in handy if not the roots? Yes. So never ever let the green mix medium dry out. Never. And you should flush it, just like you do with your leca semi-hydro growing. Flush. I have yet another one from Denmark, which I haven't repotted. It's sitting in a little pool down there. I think it's wise to keep them in a little pool. Doesn't matter. It will harm them if they run dry. So, but as it's inorganic medium, it doesn't hold any nutrients such as bark or moss. So you really need to add on a good nutrient solution, a good fertilizer, which contains all of the mandatory ones. It should be as complete as possible. Yes. So not only NPK, there should be other stuff added into it, such as, for example, this rain mix. All seasons orchid fertilizer, soft water, RO water, rainwater, yeah, soft tap water. And this is soft tap water that I've got here. You see, there's a lot of other stuff in there. And it lasts very long. 1 gram for 2 liters of water. I got it in here. Another little bag with it. So, and I do keep a couple of watering cans down here under the sink. Yeah, in the cupboard. So, this one contains 5 liters of water. This is 1 gram. So 1 gram for 2 liters of water. So, 1. It should be even. Even amount. 2. And a half. Yes. And I will mix it up. Like this. This is how I do it. Yeah. Now we're going to see the naked truth. How I actually water my orchids. Yes. So, for the Verticianum, I would do like this. Pour from above so I can make sure that it actually gets to the surface. The moisture. Yeah. A little bit more. Until it pours out into the saucer down there. There should be a little pool down there to the saucer. As this little pot naturally has got a large hole down there to the bottom. So, look how dry it is. So, that's why I know that this orchid really needs a good amount. Same goes for this one. So, and up here, I have an orchid sitting in something else, my own mix. Yeah, quite recently podded. Paphiopedilum. Yes. Grow stones, perlite, small grade bark, and peat, I think. So take the very same fertilized water. Yeah. And I'll let it sit there and soak. I'll let them all sit there and soak for about 30 minutes up to 8 hours. Doesn't matter. It really depends on how much time I have on my hands. And some say that lack of water will inhibit the blooming frequency on these guys. So it's very important that you water your Paphiopedilums frequently enough. As for this beautiful orchid, this cristata, Coelogene cristata, needs to have plump, beautiful pseudobulbs. The bigger, the plumper, the better. If you would like to see a flower spike, which I believe will come out from this pseudobulb this time around, or maybe from this one. No, it bloomed from that one last time. Yeah, you can see the spike. So it's going to be this one's turn. So I better play my cards right and give it loads of water and fertilizer. For the time being, it's very important. So just fill it up a little bit from above. See? They're all naturally, you can, as you understand, hose to the bottom, handcrafted hose. Nah, just kidding. So I can sit there and soak. These guys, I dip water all of them simultaneously as I dip water the larger paths up there. Yeah? Alright, what about the orchids in here, in the cabinet? Let us look at it. It's 87% humidity in there, 22.9 degrees. Yeah, and in here, in this very room, it's 58%. And 23.4. So it's a little bit cooler, tiny bit cooler in here. I keep quite many Dendrobiums in this rock wool mixture, which I need to keep a little bit damp. I'm not going to let it dry out completely, but almost. And absolutely no fertilizer come winter. These guys, the mounted ones, are quite difficult to maintain now. So when I feel like it, I get my little sprayer, just spray it a little bit like this every once in a while. That goes for all of the mounts, especially when I see, or as I see, that they are in active root growth. That will need some spraying. Yes. For the rest of the ones, virtually all of them are Dendrobium orchids. For the time being, are they in active growth? Some of them are, new things coming. So, but these aren't really deciduous ones, so they need to be watered all year round. I bring my watering can and water. As I see active growth, I can give it a little bit of fertilizer, and the water drips down there, excess water from the tree. This one, it's an active growth. It's a Coelogene usitana. Shall soon be in bloom. Won't take long. Needs water. This one, the Sulavensiense, in bloom and in growth, needs a little bit of water. Shouldn't hesitate. But when it's summertime and the Dendrobiums, the deciduous ones, are in active growth, I bring them down from here, and put them into a tray with fertilized water. And it's a large black tray, which I do a lot of my repottings in. And I add in some fertilizer. And I share water for all of the mounted orchids in this area. I let them sit there and soak. Even this one, Ionosidium, gets to share the water. And even the Harkoglossum there gets to share water. And even the Jenkinsii, Dendrobium, gets to share the water. And so on. But throughout winter season, when my orchids aren't growing that fiercely, I use a little bit different fertilizer. This one I use. At least my thought is to use it during winter time from about October to March, but as to give my orchids additional light all year round. They are always in active growth. I'm still using it from time to time. A and B. So 5 milliliters for 2 liters of water, so it's 1 capsule times 2.5 capsule for 5 liters of water. And this water has been sitting there for several days. I always pour up my water in advance. And I do have a couple of containers filled with water. Sometimes they can stay there for a month. I forget to use them. Yes. Each of them contains about 10 liters of water. Here are my fertilizers. Carmag and Formulex, which I use for my seedlings. So let's mix the ingredients together. And we're going to go into the living room area again. Oh, I have this beautiful Christmas calendar. And it smells so great. It's a lovely, lovely fragrance to that little calendar. As I said, I want it to be smooth and easy to suit my schedule. So, how do I do it? Cattleyas, smaller ones. Some of them are quite old by now, but they're not growing well. Some of them. They had a lot of thrips and spider mites. So, they were badly infested. You can see. Some of them still carries bad, ugly-looking markings. Yes. But I watered them yesterday, so no need to do it again. But I should water them twice a week, but I only water them once a week, at a maximum. Then I usually go over all of them with my watering can. Yes. Usually I try not to hit the leaves, but anyways, here. Until it fills up the tray. And I just sit there and soak. This is what I do. How simple is that? Yes. And even works for the semi-hydro, which are sitting in a water reservoir. Water pours out through the hose, wets the tray. Doesn't matter. It will only increase humidity a little bit around it. So, it will only benefit it. It's all right if I pour in a little bit more than I should. So, and there. All right. And this one. And this one. How simple is that? Semi-hydro. Know the drill by now. And let us not forget about the pump spray. I have this 5 liter pump spray. Which I always forget to use. I often talk very dearly about it, but I never use it. Well, it's that naked truth. Oh, look how fast it is. Could be but sometimes you don't really need to dip water. Just want to add on a little bit of water. as in this case. Just needs a little bit. Now when it's winter and all, no need to overwater stuff. It can easily cause some rotting and other unwanted issues. So I'd rather just do it a little bit like this. Keep them a little bit more on the dry side, especially the Phalaenopsis. And most certainly the Phalaenopsis, which aren't in active growth or on the way of blooming and such. Now the con is that you need to pump and pump and pump. It never ends. Just pumping. So, I mean, it takes a while. Now I notice a little Cattleya, Santa Barbara, Sunset. I forgot to water since it's on the wrong tray. Yeah, you see my point? No need to water all that much this time of the year. Just a little bit. But when it comes to these guys, it's a totally different story. This one is now in growing stage. It's creating a spike. It's Volkstiara, Carnival Rio, sitting in moss and bark mix and perlite. It's wet down there, starting to get, well, if I hesitate, stick a finger down there, yeah, it's wet. About 4 to 5 centimeters down there. I can wait 2 more days. No hurry. What about this one? The Stephanila. Yeah, it was watered just the other day. That massive root system was already drank up all of the water. What about this Miltonia Sunset? It's getting dry. She needs water. So. This Vanda, I need to bring into my kitchen area and soak. I can soak her throughout the whole night. Doesn't matter, she can take up loads of water. Yes, and she certainly will need it. These guys, my Vandas, I need to dip water. Bring them inside into my kitchen or put them on this bench or on the display table and let them soak. And I'm going to bring in an empty bucket and empty the little containers. So I won't have to run from this room into the kitchen and back and forth. Yeah, no fun. Yeah. Here are my boo-boos. They need loads of water. Shouldn't dry out. They're sitting in coconut husk fiber and probably a little bit of moss. Shredded moss, and sometimes a little bit of perlite. These guys only water like this. Go over. Like this. Yes? Just as simple as that. Yeah. They are quite hardy, so to speak. Nah, they're not so sensitive, I mean. So, now they're finished. And the Phalaenopsis. Looks like the roots are saturated still. I can wait a couple of more days. This one? Yeah, starting to get a little bit dry. Yeah. Tomorrow we can dip water them. Bring out the whole tray. Bring it into my kitchen area. That's the easiest way. And dip water them. Then I can check for mealy bugs and stuff while I'm at it. Examine them properly. The same goes for these Phalaenopsis, orchids, of course. Bring in the whole tray, dip water. For these guys. These are my little seedlings. How do I water my seedlings? Oftentimes I do not do SHIT. See? It's almost drying out, this little reservoir. These are the paths. Paphiopedilum venustum. They are really growing on nicely. I say, that's part of them. A little bad leaf there, but it's not much, considering my not caring for them. No, of course I'm caring for them, but what do I do? Yeah, last time I simply flushed them, yeah, and I added a little bit of this seedling fertilizer, as you saw before, on my fertilizer tree. And what about the Cattleyas? That one would be nice to see if they're still alive. They are a little bit more finicky to grow, I'd say. So, I have a couple of Cattleyas in here, still alive. Ah, they are. I think they are. Yay! They are monochicas. Renanthera monochicas. 5. Yeah, still hanging in there. This is the Cattleya, my special angel, which I try to put here. Second piece doesn't seem to make it. And this is a tenebrosa from the Orchid show. Looking great. And Persevaliana, Maxima, small one. Persevaliana, and yeah, a tired little one. But some of them will make it, yeah. I think you get the point, get the idea on how I do it. So if you have any questions, any suggestions, anything you want to ask or add, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section. Yeah, you guys, I'm happy to have you here, and we should talk soon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye, guys.